Hey, y'all. Hey, this is Coffee with Friends, and I am raw to the bone. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I know some of my posts ruffles a little bit of people's feathers, but I just really be out there asking questions. And one of the things I realize is that, when people find it difficult to answer a question, it becomes an infight. And I'll get a little bit more into what I'm talking about, okay? But before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and remind you guys that today is going to be a good day because we need that boost. Huh?
Step one, wake up, brother, gonna rise with the sun.
Hey.
Step two,
Hey,
get some good
Cheryl
for
Lee.
you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be.
Huh?
Step four, everybody just do your thing. Wake up,
Today's gonna be a
good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them.
I try to pick one
thought, have some concentration.
And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication.
Wake
Hey!
up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up,
Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, Hillbilly. Good morning, Brandella.
Ups and downs, just like every different season.
Hey!
Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm there to greet it all. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo.
Negative thoughts.
Are poison your ride. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap.
All the bad for the good in my head.
When I'm lost.
Hey! What?
So I'ma fake it till I make it.
Positive vibes are overtaken.
I got patience.
One day at a time, that's how you operate a cadence. Afloat, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation.
Hey. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation.
I live my life
in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
Hey! Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Cheryl Lee, you said you've been taking a break on social media. Girl, you best cause I didn't cause any trouble on social media. I asked a simple question. And I mean, I'm saying this with love, y'all, right? Sometimes I love Black people. These are my people. But sometimes y'all MFers be arguing over the wrong stuff. Like these last couple of days with social media has had my ass itching on fire. Okay? One, the first thing is I see an outrage in our Black community amongst Black people that do not want to support Black businesses or attacking Black businesses that are still selling in these big box stores like Target or whatever the case may be, right? And I don't agree with that. And I know some of my Black brothers and sisters will be like, Robin, you wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I feel like sometimes we don't think before we go out and fight our battles. See, for me, and I know a lot of my Black brothers and sisters might throw darts at me, but for me, I feel the power is in supporting the Black business, no matter where the business, no matter where they are selling their products out of, right? The goal is to help Black businesses grow so that one day they can have their own brick and mortar spaces. They can have enough money for warehousing and distribution, direct sales. You know, it, the infighting in our community is so painful, right? We want all these little Black businesses to pull all of their stuff from the big box businesses. How is that going to hurt the Black business? The Black business that half of the Black, well, I'm just saying it, I don't have stats to prove it, don't even want to support. So I know some people got their bunches in a wad because I said, I will support a Black business no matter where their products are sold, right? We don't see any other culture acting this way, okay? I'm not going to attack Tabitha Brown for still having her stuff in Target. But what I will do is, if I do go to Target, because I'm not going to sit here and make a promise and say I'm never going to Target again either, okay? But if I do go to Target, okay, then I will make sure that I am visiting the aisles that Tabitha Brown is selling her products in. And whatever I need, hopefully I can get from her section. Some people didn't like that, but it's okay. Okay, that's one. Okay, so some people got their panties up in a wad over that, right? I got a video I'm going to play for y'all. Anyway, the second thing is, I asked a simple question on my Facebook page. I asked, what has DEI done for you? Not one person, well, finally, one person after the debates and the explanations of what I'm asking, finally, one person expressed how DEI helped them. My question was simple. How did DEI help you? And the reason why I'm asking is because I just want to see from personal experiences who has felt the impact of DEI since it's been implemented in the last 5 years across these corporations. I was just asking for personal experience. But instead of people giving me their personal experiences, people came on and tried to educate me on what the fuck DEI is. I know what DEI is. I know what it was meant for. I understand it. That wasn't my question. My question was, how did it help you? Okay? And one person said, Robin, remember when you were uncomfortable with your natural hair? I said, yes, I do remember that. That was 10 plus years ago. I have been wearing my natural hair long before DEI came into play. Right? So DEI didn't add that attribute to my life because I was already in my natural element before DEI came along. So for me, that's not what DEI did for me. Okay, and that's what I responded. And I said, this is how we get into the infighting in our culture, because we can't even answer simple questions. We go right into debating what the fuck the topic is about without answering the question. I asked a simple question. What did DEI do for you? Then there are some people who jumped on the post and said, DEI did absolutely nothing for me. I was just taking a consensus, right? But we be arguing over the wrong thing. We do. As a federal, federally, I've been watching the news and more. I guess I want to stay informed. I've been watching social media more. I guess I want to stay informed. Okay. Hillbilly said DEI is an ism just like any other. I just wanted to know what it did for people, personally. And no one could really answer, but one person finally answered and said they can be whoever they want to be. They can wear what they want to wear, um, without, I guess, being prejudiced against. But I've been doing that long before DEI. So, I was just asking to see who it helped. And no one seemed to answer. Everybody tried to give me an education on DEI. That's not what I asked for. The fuck? Okay. And so I just feel like sometimes we hurt ourselves. We do. Right? The other amazing thing that I've been, I have been on social media, right? The other thing that I see is, it's amazing how history, at one point during Martin Luther King days, Black people were marching, right? We were marching, we were protesting, we were fighting for our civil rights, right? And today, I hear so many people say, the Black culture needs a Black leader, right? To help us lead. But do y'all see these Mexicans marching? Do y'all see the Mexicans marching? I wonder who their leader is. They are marching. Not only are the Mexicans out there marching, okay, the American indigenous folks are out there marching. They are marching in New York, and I believe they are riding from, did they say Colorado to San Francisco or something crazy? They are out there marching for their rights. And when I read the comments, right, people are commenting, oh, they're out there marching and flying Mexican flags, but if they really wanted to be here, why don't they fly American flags? I don't see any American flags. I see American flags in there too. All I'm saying is that these people are out here marching. I didn't see no Black people. I wasn't out there either, but it was amazing to see that the indigenous and the Mexicans are out in these streets fighting for their rights. I love to see it. Now, I'm not for the criminal immigrants, the violent criminals. Of course, I'm not for them. But that doesn't apply to the masses of immigrants that are here, right? And so I love to see people fight for their rights. Cheryl Lee said, DEI help more on a community basis more than on a one-to-one basis. Give me an example. I want an example of how DEI helped on a community basis. Like, a lot of people are saying things, but I'm not getting examples, right? I need examples of how DEI helped, right? That's a good point, Shirley, but how did it help at the community basis? The reason why I'm asking this is because Once we figure out how it helped us, right, then maybe we can figure out how to continue to move forward and get these kinds and get this kind of symmetry, right, in our communities without having it name something like DEI. Like how has it helped in our communities? Because I want to say our communities include us. If you live in that community, you are part of that community. So how did DEI help? And with the absence of DEI, how can we continue to help in our communities as far as diversity is concerned, even in the absence of what they call DEI? See, that's why I be asking these questions. But it's so difficult for some people to give me exact examples. Okay. Hillbilly said Mexicans have put out statements saying we don't need blacks' helps. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I didn't say we're the black people marching alongside of the Mexicans. That's not what I meant. I meant where are the black people marching for what they feel they lost. I'm not talking about aligning with the Mexicans. I'm just saying I see the American Indians out there marching, okay, as a community. And then separately, you have the Mexicans marching as a community. And then that's it. Now, I'm not outside marching either, but I'm just saying. Brandilla said DEI has become a buzzword for racism and political debate. I wish Trump never fed people the tentative. It has taken focus from more important things. It's a diversion tactic. You meant narrative, okay? Fed the people the narrative. Great point, Brandilla. You are awake this morning. You early. You must have had your coffee. So let me read this again. DEI has become a buzzword for racism and political debate. I wish Trump never fed people the narrative. That's what she meant. It has taken focus from more important things. It's a diversion tactic. I love that, Brandilla. I love that. Okay? I love that. Okay? Meanwhile, in the background, Trump is adding tariffs to China, Canada, and Mexico, right? And Canada said, oh, yeah, fuck you. You want to add tariffs to us? We're going to stop providing electricity. Baby, when I saw that post, I was like, hold up, we get electricity from Canada? How come I didn't know that? That goes to show you that I need to do more research. I had no idea that Canada was providing us a subset of energy. So if Canada decides that, oh, you want to put tariffs on us, we won't give you electricity. Basically, Canada is saying, don't fuck with us because we are one of your best allies, okay? Fuck around and be in the fucking dark. So make sure y'all got, like my girlfriend texted me yesterday and she was like, make sure you order this and make sure you get you some flameless candles because we don't know what the fuck is going on. Trump even said it's going to be hard initially, but it will get better. We don't know what that means. Hillbilly been saying for a year, get your food. People are crying about eggs. I kid you not. I was in the grocery store yesterday. I kid you not. And it was about 6 of us standing in front of the refrigerator where the eggs was. And we were just standing there looking, trying to figure out which eggs we were going to buy. Now, there was a time that I used to buy extra large eggs. Mm-mm. Because I've decided that I could eat a regular large egg because the prices are ridiculous. The man, one of the men that was standing in front of the refrigerators with his wife, you know what he said? He said, honey, we need to find out if our county allows us to have our own chickens so we can have our own eggs because this is ridiculous. I bought Fage 0% plain yogurt. It used to cost me $4 and change for the big one. Yesterday, I paid $8. $8 for that yogurt. I stared at it for a while and I said, damn it, I need this yogurt. Good morning, Liebert. I used to pay $4 and change for that Fage 0% plain yogurt. It was $8. And I purposely did not go to Stop and Shop because Stop and Shop is more money. I drove to ShopRite. It was $8. And you know, immediately it made me flash back to the last time I got Fage yogurt. AG bought it for me. And now I feel like calling him on the phone and being like, oh no, you pay $8 for that yogurt for me? Like I want to give him back his money. Like I had no idea that the price jumped like that. We give Canada $260 billion a year. They will go bankrupt when it is cut off. Oh, come through, Hillbilly. I didn't know that. This is what I'm saying. See, when I ask questions on social media, instead of some of y'all getting your panties in a wad and wanting to fight the question, just give an answer because this is how we educate each other. Seriously. Right? Hillbilly said, we give Canada $260 billion a year. They will go bankrupt if it's cut off. Baby. Listen, the way these grocery prices are, let me tell y'all what I did yesterday. So normally in my lazy self, I'm not going to lie, when I'm making pasta or sauces, meatballs, or whatever the case may be, I used to buy the meatballs already made in the frozen section and let them and I would let them cook for like, long periods of time so it could kind of soak up my sauces and stuff like that. But yesterday I was like, I'm not spending extra money on no fucking meatballs in the freezer. So I bought a double pack of ground beef, right? I took half of the ground beef and I made my own fucking meatballs. For the first time in my life, I said, I'm going to make my own meatballs. I'm not paying extra money for somebody else's meatballs that they made and froze. I made my own meatballs and I used the rest of the meat for my meat sauce and I got it together. And baby, it was good. I'm telling you, these prices will make you, they will make you do things. And I made my own meatballs finally. It was cheaper. It was way cheaper. Brandilla said, I'm thinking Trump didn't know what Canada provides either. He has been making the most half-cocked, short-sighted decisions. I'm so over him. That's a good point, Brandilla. That's a good point. This is a good time to go vegan. Meat is too expensive. Baby, my favorite steak is ribeye bone in. When I tell you, I have not bought a bone in ribeye and I fucking work. I have not bought a bone in ribeye because every time I look at the price, one bone-eye rib, $27. What? For one steak? I was crying in the dark when they were $12 and $13 for one steak. Now you talking 20 something dollars for a ribeye steak with the bone in. So yes, I've had ribeye recently, but no bone. Because the one without the bone is cheaper. Now I could get those two in the pack for like $13. No bone. But one ribeye steak with the bone in is 20 something dollars. Hillbilly says, start rationing now so you'll be better able to handle it when the real time comes. I don't eat a lot anyway. I Hillbilly, if I tell you, I probably eat one meal a day on a regular basis, right? But I do like to know that I have food in my house. I have very bad eating habits, very bad. A lot of people would be like, you should be skinny. No, because my body is living off of itself. And so I slow down my metabolism because my eating habits are so bad. Okay. I might eat one meal a day. I drink my coffee and I'll let the whole morning go by. And then by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, I'll be like, I'm hungry. And I'll be like, oh, I may as well wait for dinner at this point, and that'll be it. Yeah, ribeye is high as hell at Wegmans. I buy the portion size now. Isn't that something, Valerie? Libra said, try owning a restaurant. I'm trying to keep my head together. I'm so pissed. Libra, oh my God. I feel bad. Not only do you own a restaurant, you have the food truck, then you are expanding out to the islands. How is this affecting your business from a cost perspective? And how do you transfer those costs onto your customers? That's a great question, Libra. I would really like to know. Brandilla said beans will be the new protein. We can get many bags of them for cheap. Yeah, but you know what I noticed about bagged beans? We got to be able to store them better, because I bought a couple of bags of beans, fresh beans. And when I went to grab a bag of my beans one time to go cook them, they had a bunch of those bugs in it. And the bag wasn't even open. So it was like, because it sat in the cabinet, I don't know if the bug eggs was already in there from the warehouse where they packed the beans, but it was a bunch of bugs in my bean bag. So now I'm like, I'm scared to buy a bunch of bags of beans and put them in my cabinet, because where the fuck these bugs come from? We do half a meal breakfast, half a meal for lunch, one meal for dinner. Hillbilly, y'all are serious. Cheryl Lee said the veggie and fruits are off the hook too, and I have to go to certain stores to get a good selection. Cheryl, were you on the call? Were you on the show when I said I went to get carrots one day and fucking carrots was $8? I just couldn't do it. I'm not buying carrots for $8. I finally found a bag that was $1.39, but I was like, who the fuck? What the fuck? How the fuck do you sell carrots for $8? And it's only about 8 or 9 carrots in a bag. It's crazy. It is crazy. Well, I'm going to go. I have a video that I want to play for y'all, right? It's just a video for y'all to listen to. Donovan sent it to me, and I listened to it, and I thought it was great. It's Smokey Robinson making a statement about being Black in America, right? And so I just want to play that for y'all. But before I play that, I'm going to go ahead and read today's positive thought. We are in February, which is the month of love. All right. So February 3rd is today, but I'm just going to read you the opening of February month. You have to store them in airtight containers as you buy them. Okay. Because, baby, I was like, wait. So I have to get the airtight containers and just pour them in there and close it. I didn't know that. I was like, why I got bugs in my bag? But isn't the bag closed? Yes. It's still there. Valerie, you talking about the big Caribbean grocery store? It's still there. Okay, February love. Love is the greatest, most enduring power in the universe. Then again, there is no other power. God is love and life and you and me. February is the month of love. Okay, and so let's get into the message today. It says, I will know love when I realize God wants love for me, or whatever it is you believe in. God wants love. God wants to love you. God has so much love for you, and God wants to give you more love than you've ever dared ask for. It is God's desire to guide you, protect you, provide for you, and shower you with love-filled goodness. It is also God's desire that you be happy, healthy, and loved. God wants you to be filled with peace and to have peaceful, joy-filled experiences. Because God cherishes you as the loved one, God desires that you live in the lap of abundance, that you experience total well-being. The question is, can you stop trying to convince God that you do not deserve the love that God wants you to have? What does that mean? Sometimes we fight against our own happiness, right? Very often we hold on to the thoughts of unworthiness and hopelessness because of experiences we have encountered. Let me read that sentence again, because there's a population of people that I have come across in my life or are still in my life that constantly hang on the dread of life, and it's so fucking draining. It says very often we hold on to the thoughts of unworthiness and hopelessness because of experiences we have encountered. Mm. Or we look at the absence of certain experiences in our lives as evidence that we are being punished or forgotten by God. Because somehow, some way, we feel that we deserve what we want at the time that we want it. Okay? Of course, you want to do better and be better than you are right now. God will take you exactly as you are because God knows exactly who you are. You may be concerned about what you are going to do next in your life or what you have done in the past. God knows that no matter what you have done, things go better when God is on your side. God wants you, not because God wants or needs anything from you, but because God wants you to realize the fullest potential of the goodness that is already in you. The goodness is God's love. Until today, you may have believed that there was something you needed to do to render yourself more pleasing to God. Just for today, spend time allowing God to know just who you are. God, as the peace, joy, strength, power, and abundance you desire in your life, is yours for the asking. Let today be the day you ask for it and receive it. Whether you believe in God, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you are Hinduism, whether you are atheist, whatever it is you believe in, if you are a manifester and you manifest shit to happen in your life, you got to believe it. Right? Today I am devoted to knowing, experiencing, and receiving God's love for me. Are you? Or are you constantly going to live in the dread and the hopelessness based on your past experiences? See, I try not to live in the hope and the dread of my past experiences because sometimes people get so pulled down in the darkness from living in their past experiences and constantly looking at life as a miserable piece of dark cloud that they never see joy. They never see the sunshine. See, I'm the opposite. I always look at shit like my glass is half full. Right? That's the message for today. Some will run from the chance to be better because of the fear of failure. Woo! Hillbilly, you be coming in here with the shits. Some will run from the chance to be better because of the fear of failure. See, I'm never afraid to fail. I just be throwing myself the fuck out there. Like, okay, let's go. Let's go. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? I'm trying to get everything that I think that I deserve somehow. And along the way, I'm hurting and I'm struggling And times are hard, but I will not live in that dread because I know what I deserve and I know where the love comes from. Good morning, Donovan. My glass is 100% full, 50% water, 50% air. I hear that shit. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and share a video that Donovan shared with me, and I listened to it. And to me, it was very, very empowering, very inspirational. And there's a message there. Now, whether you get the message or you don't get the message, that's completely up to you. But I'm going to play this video, and y'all give me your thoughts on the video after it's done. Brandilla said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I know that's right. All right, let me go and share my screen because oh wait. Okay. Oh, damn it.
I love being an American.
Wait.
I love being a Black American.
I gotta do it again. Shit.
I love being called Black. I love being an American. I love being a Black American. But as a Black man in this country, I think it's a shame that every few years we get a change of name. Since those first ships arrived here from Africa that came across the sea, there were already Black men in this country who were free. And as for those who came over on those terrible boats, they were called nigger and slave and told what to do and how to behave. And then Master started tripping, doing his midnight tipping down to the slave shacks where he forced he and great-great-grandma to be together. And the great-great-grandpa protested, he got tired and feathered. And at the same time, the Black men in the country who were free were mating with the tribes like the Apache and the Cherokee. And as a result of all that, we're a parade of every shade. And in this late day and age, you can be sure there ain't too many of us in this country whose bloodline is pure. But according to a geographical genealogy study published in Time magazine, the Black African people were the first on the scene. So for what it's worth, the Black African people were the first on Earth, and through migration, our characteristics started to change and rearrange to adapt to whatever climate we migrated to. And that's how I became me, and you became you. So if we're going to go back, let's go all the way back. And if Adam was Black and Eve was Black, then that kind of makes it a natural fact that everybody in America is an African American. Everybody in Europe is an African European. Everybody in the Orient is an African Asian, and so on and so on. That is, if the origin of man is what we're going to go on. And if one drop of Black blood makes you Black like they say, then everybody's Black anyway. So quit trying to change my identity. I'm already who I was meant to be. I'm a Black American, born and raised. And Brother James Brown wrote a wonderful phrase. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Because I'm proud to be Black. And I ain't never lived in Africa. And because my great-great-granddaddy on my daddy's side did, don't mean I want to go back. Now, I have nothing against Africa. It's where some of the most beautiful places and people in the world are found. But I've been blessed to go a lot of places in this world. And if you ask me where I choose to live, I pick America, hands down. Now, by and by, we were called Negroes. And after a while, that name was banished. Anyway, Negro is just how you say Black in Spanish. Then we were called colored. But yet everybody's one color or another, and I think it's a shame that we hold that against each other. And it seems like we reverted back to a time when being called Black was an insult. Even if it was another Black man who said that a fight would result. Because we've been so brainwashed that Black was wrong, till even the yellow niggas and the Black niggas couldn't get along. But then came the 1960s, when we struggled and died to be called equal and Black, and we walked with pride with our heads held high and our shoulders pushed back. And Black was beautiful. But I guess that wasn't good enough. Because now here they come with some other stuff. Who comes up with this shit anyway? Was it one or a group of niggas just sitting around one day? Feeling a little insecure again about being called Black and decided that African American sounded a little more exotic. Well, I think you were being a little more neurotic. It's that same mentality that got Amos and Andy put off the air because they were embarrassed about the way the characters spoke. And as a result of that action, a lot of wonderful Black actors ended up broke. When we were just laughing and having fun about ourselves. So I say, fuck you if you can't take a joke. You didn't see the Beverly Hillbillies being protested by white folks. And if you think, of course you think, that being called African American sets all black people's minds at ease, since we affectionately call each other nigger, I affectionately say to you, nigga, please. How come I didn't get a chance to vote on who I'd like to be? Who gave you the right to make that decision for me? I ain't under your rule or in your dominion, and I'm entitled to my own opinion. Now, there are some African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. Another brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations: New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa and search of your race, you'll find out quick you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Now you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people there wouldn't even claim you as one of them, as a purebred daughter or son of them. Your heritage is right here now, no matter what you call yourself or what you say. And a lot of people died to make it that way. And if you think America's a leader on inequality and suffering and grieving, how come there's so many people coming and so few leaving? Rather than all this fine corporate America shit you promoting, if you want to change something, use your privilege. Get to the polls, come and support me. God knows we've earned the right to be called American Americans and be free at last. And rather than you moving forward with progress, you're dwelling in the past. We struggled too long, we've come too far. Instead of focusing on who we were, let's be proud of who we are. We're the only people whose name is always a trend. When is this shit gonna end? Look at all the different colors of our skin. Black is not our color, it's our core. It's what we've been living and fighting and dying for. But if you choose to be called African American and that's your preference, then I give you that reference. But I know on this issue I don't stand alone on my own. And if I do, then let me be me. And I'd appreciate it if when you see me, you say, there goes a man who says it loud. I'm black. I'm a black American, and I'm proud. Because I love being an American. And I love being black. I love being called black. Yeah, I said it. And I don't take it back.
Well, what did y'all think of that Smokey Robinson video? Good morning, Ghost. What do y'all think about what he said? He is dropping knowledge. Is that why 23andMe disappeared? Because of everyone's origin? Shirley said, I saw a post that said, let all these groups continue to boycott, and then when they get them, we'll come and take advantage of their rights like they did with you, with the rights of our ancestors fought for. I am Jacinta said, bruh, this man knows his history. Marcus has been saying this for years. I just be looking like, oh, really? The truth has been hidden and most don't know the truth. Go on, Hillbilly. Let it be told. Valerie said, right, they buried it. Hillbillies are talked down and criticized every day. 50-50. There's another video. Let me see if I can find it, because let me see if I can find it, because here it is. Let me see.
And if you pick up an American history book, 7th, 8th grade, high school.
1 second. I got another video to play for y'all. One second. I got another one. Give me a second. Okay. Let me just share this. I'm about to share another video for you guys, okay? Um,
If you pick up an American history book, 7th, 8th grade, high school, you will read or see nothing about what you've talked about here this morning. Well, perhaps that's what the reality is for in your neighborhood. I grew up in Oak Cliff, Texas, and I was taught by Black women who taught me my history. So I think there are many people, you talk about hard research, Black people have been doing hard research on this question for a long time. George Washington Williams wrote a history of the Negro people in America in 1882. W.B. Du Bois was writing in the early 20th century. So I think the reality in this conversation reminds me, Black people fighting white supremacy in this country is a bit like Don Quixote tilting their windmills. I mean, we've thrown generation after generation after generation of brilliant Black people at trying to get white people to understand the truth of their society. I have no interest in throwing more Black genius at this question. So I think if you want your children to know the history of America, you should read the historians, whether it's Dr. Kendi, you should read Evelyn Higginbotham, you should read Henry Louis Gates, you should read W.B. Du Bois, you should read, I could send you we should post on the show a whole list of Black historians who have taught the history of this country, and perhaps some white ones as well. David Blight just won the Pulitzer Prize for his history, and he's a white man trying to get people to see the history of the country. So I think it's been happening. It ought to continue to happen. And those who want to know is that if you pick up an American history book, 7th, 8th grade, high school, you will read or see nothing about what you've talked about here this morning. Well, perhaps that's what the reality is for in your neighborhood. I grew up in Oak Cliff, Texas, and I was taught by Black women who taught me my history. So I think there are many people, you talk about hard research, Black people have been doing hard research on this question for a long time. George Washington Williams wrote a history of the Negro people in America in 1882. W.B. Du Bois was writing in the early 20th century. So I think the reality in this conversation reminds me, Black people fighting white supremacy in this country is a bit like Don Quixote tilting their windmills. I mean, we've thrown generation after generation after generation of brilliant Black people at trying to get white people to understand the truth of their society. I have no interest in throwing more Black genius at this question. So I think if you want your children to know the history of America, you should read the historians, whether it's Dr. Kendi, you should read Evelyn Higginbotham, you should read Henry Louis Gates, you should read W.B. Du Bois, you should read, I could send you we should post on the show a whole list of Black historians who have taught the history of this country, and perhaps some white ones as well. David Blight just won the Pulitzer Prize for his history, and he's a white man trying to get people to see the history of the country. So I think it's been happening. It ought to continue to happen. And those who want to know is that if you pick up an American history book, 7th, 8th grade.
So that interview where that interviewer, the white interviewer, clearly said Black history is nowhere to be found in the books when you open up a book in school. And this gentleman broke down how for centuries books have been written, speeches have been made about Black history, but it's not being taught. And what did he say? He suggested that you pick up a book and you read about it. Okay, this man said, I was raised by a Black woman who taught me. And he even offered to provide the show with a list of books that expand on the Black history. Message here, reading is fundamental. Okay. Reading is fundamental. So there's a lot of stuff out there. I know people are disconnecting from social media, and I can understand why, because mentally it's exhausting. But there's people out here, okay, making great commentary around Black history. Okay, so when we say we don't have people speaking for us, or our Black history is hidden, we are kind of responsible for that. Okay, we also have to read these books. We also have to teach our history to our children and to our children. I remember asking on the show one time, do we ever spend time with our children going over our history? Like, do our kids know these authors of these books that do you even know that he mentioned? What are we doing to educate ourselves? Good morning, I am Jacinta. Um, Hillbillies are talked down to and criticized every day. You are right. You are right, hillbilly. You are absolutely correct. Good morning, Coffee with Friends. I just came in talking. We love you for it. I am Jacinta. Video was very powerful, especially about Adam and Eve being black. Well, that's why I debate so much stuff when it comes to the Bible and Christianity and stuff like that, because it just don't be making any sense to me, right? What they teach doesn't always align with what the Bible says. The images they show us does not align with the characteristics described in the Bible, but yet somehow society was able to convince people, although they are reading the Bible and they're reading the characteristics and the descriptions of what these people look like in the Bible, for some reason, even in some black homes, you see people hanging up pictures of white Moses and white Marys and white Jesuses and stuff like that, because some people are guided by what other people say instead of doing the research and studying for themselves. I don't know. Valerie said, agree. Everyone came from US. The black woman has the only gene when reproduce its seed is black no matter what. Child Libra, listen, my mother has been saying for at least the past 2 years, she has been saying a civil war is coming. A civil war is coming. And I'm like, Ma, come on now. I need to get out of the country before that happens. But she has been saying that. How about the thing they won't let us read? How about that? Val, that's the point, right? But yet, like Brandilla said, they do things. They throw stuff out like removing DEI to distract us. When DEI, based on who benefits from top tier to low tier, black people are last on the list for benefits of DEI. But yet, the black folk are out here hollering and screaming about DEI. And like Brandilla said, it's just a distraction. The bigger issue here is, why are you guys constantly trying to erase our history? Right? What's going on with the John Henry statue in your area? Yes, Shirley, and shame on us. Shame on us. Shame on us for this. And then we want to know why the people, the generations are confused. Shame on us for this. We are blaming white America for erasing our black history. What are we doing as black people to maintain our history? What did Cheryl Lee say? Some of these kids don't even know their family history. What are we doing? No, I know what John Henry means equals Black History Hillbilly. I just didn't know if you if something happened to the statue, like if somebody vandalized it. Hey, Georgie. I asked my mom what she lived through. She was living in Harlem. She wasn't, she didn't directly experience some of the tension, but I'm sure she saw some shit. I am Jacinta said, my husband wants to go to Egypt so bad. He said that's really going to open my eyes to it all. One day soon, I'm going to start planning that trip. I want to go to Egypt too. You know, right now is such, right now the climate is fear, right? And I try not to get, because I have anxieties, y'all. And I'm trying not to get roped up into all of what's happening to a point where I become so afraid to live, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, right? And I still want to travel and I still want to do things and I still want to experience life. And they're doing a good job to instill a lot of fear in us. And I refuse to be a hermit. I do. I am Jacinta says because he talks about how the Europeans stole so much from us. Oh, I believe it. We already talked about multiple times that there's a place in South Africa where black people are not able to live. Like, how the fuck do you go to a black continent and go to one of their countries in the continent and build a residential neighborhood on a black continent in one of their countries and say they can't live there? And a whole continent couldn't fight against that? They still steal. Congo, every day on my timeline, I see the wars between Rwanda and Congo in Africa. And it's all because of their natural resources, right? Constantly stealing from Africa. The amount of natural resources Africa has as a continent, they should be filthy rich. But they are constantly fighting in places like Congo that do not have infrastructure. They drive through mud on a daily basis. Okay. And yet you have the Europeans coming over there stealing the natural resources. And Africa is fighting for their fucking lives over there. True hillbilly. I agree, because I know my mama. Listen, she was alive when Martin Luther King was, huh? I was 1 year old when he died. So I'm sure she has seen things. I did ask her if she experienced the white fountain stuff, white only fountain. And she said no, because she lived in Harlem at the time. And so they didn't have that, like they were going, like they were struggling in the South. Harlem was not experiencing the same exact thing in that way. But I am sure she's not on the show right now, but I am sure she has some experiences she could share. I am Jacinta said, me too, at Robin. My anxiety has been through the roof, but I can't lead my life with fear. I cannot. Like, literally, I woke up this morning just thinking some things because I know that I'm traveling in 2 weeks. And I woke up and my stomach completely flipped. And I was like, oh my God. Right. And I had to get my thoughts together because I said, I will not allow all the stuff that's happening in the world to cause me to hibernate. Right. Because I've hibernated for 2 years during COVID and that was not fun. Shirley said, yes, she lived through the tension of racial times in the nation. She may have been a little girl during that time, but I'm sure she felt the energy. I'm sure she did, Cheryl. I'm sure she did. Great question. Great question. Because hillbilly, I'm sure there might not be racism against hillbillies, but I'm sure there's prejudice. Have you? That's a great question. I am Jacinta. Let's see what hillbilly says. Let's see what hillbilly says. Oh, Pillbilly say yes. Stupid people are everywhere. What were some of the experiences that you witnessed, Hillbilly? I'm just curious. And even give us some examples of how it's impacted the hillbilly community from a prejudice standpoint. I'm curious. Exactly, I am DeCenza. Right. That's a great one, Shirley. Mindfulness. Ooh, I am DeCenza. You know what? When you come on the show, you be really going at it. I am DeCenza's follow-up question is, has it ever made you think about Black people differently? This question is for Hillbilly. Oh, she got lots of questions. Give him a chance to answer. Hillbilly, has it ever made you think about Black people differently? I don't think hillbillies are racist, but I don't know. I've never really. That's a great question. I want to hear Hillbilly's answer before we get into. And the second question is, have you ever feared Black people? So you might want to answer all of that at the same time. Has it ever made you think about Black people differently? And have you ever feared Black people? That's a great question. I don't get that feeling from Hillbilly, but it's a great question. Okay, Hillbilly said, the K3 used to march in my town. My friends and I, one being Fonzie, a Black guy, started a riot trying to unhood them. Okay, I'm still waiting for the answers to I am DeCentra's question. Have you ever feared Black people? I was, based on this, probably no, but I want to hear your answer. And has this ever made you feel differently about Black people? I am DeCentra. You might have to come on too. It's not fair just to pull Hillbilly on. Hillbilly not gonna get on. He don't do all of this. I'm glad that he's on Discord for Christ's sake. But this is a good question. This is some good dialogue right here. Oh God, Hillbilly, they coming for you. Cheryl Lee said, did your time in the service change your perspective on races in general? Come on, y'all. I do have a job, so y'all need to answer these questions. Okay? Now, I will put up the link in case anybody gets funky and want to jump up on here and answer these questions. But I doubt Hillbilly gonna jump on. Okay, Hillbilly said, I feared Black people once. I doubt it was because they were Black as much as 3 a.m. in Harlem. What do you mean? I don't understand that question. I don't understand that. What do you mean? I feared Black people once. I doubt it was because they were Black as much as 3 a.m. in Harlem. Good morning, Mother. Harlem, like, I know it's two L's there, but did you mean Harlem like Harlem, New York, or Harlem someplace else? Or what did you mean? Did your time in the service change your perspective on races in general? Hillbilly, these questions are all targeted at you because I think you're the only white person on the podcast. So we got to ask you. Can I ask a general question to everybody on here? How do you feel when you walk through a Black neighborhood versus a white neighborhood? Anybody can answer that question. How do you feel when you walk through a Black neighborhood versus a white neighborhood? Anybody can answer that question. How do you feel walking through a white neighborhood versus a black neighborhood? He did, Georgie. Hillbilly is the voice of the people. Yes, he is today because everybody's asking him these questions. Hillbilly's on the hot seat, but he's coming through with some answers. Okay, so Hillbilly said, we didn't have, how come it didn't show up in my chat? Hillbilly said, we didn't have toll money and was escorted off the interstate when we found an ATM. It was surrounded by 20 or so people. I used my gun to get cash. Oh. But it was it fear? If it was 20 white people, would you have reacted the same way? I'm assuming that it was 20 black people. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Billy, yes. You did it for the culture. Thank you for jumping on live. Now I am Jacinta. Where the hell are you? Thank you, Hillbilly, for joining. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Hillbilly. It is so good to see you. I am so grateful that you joined because I know we've been twisting your arm to get on social media since you joined Coffee with Friends. So this is a big milestone.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in my robe. I haven't shaved since June.
That's okay. We love it. So let's get to some of these questions because Cheryl Lee said you are so cool and you're on here, and Georgie said you're the voice of the people this morning. And so, Cheryl Lee is asking, did your time in the service, you did serve in the military, right?
United States Air Force.
United States Air Force. Okay, so during that time, did your perspective change on races in general?
Let's see. When I was in the military, probably was the roughest time between me and blacks, but some of the best too. Don't get me wrong. I had a problem with one guy, but my dorm chief, who was black, stood up for me, said that's just a bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so it probably both strengthened and weakened relations there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was significant in any way, because there's assholes everywhere.
Yeah, true. That's true. It's true. It's true. So I am Jacinta. Where are you with all of these questions? Did she run? So what kind of racism have you witnessed in West Virginia? Because like so many people, when I tell them I'm coming to West Virginia or I want to go to West Virginia, they be like, oh my God, like why is there so much fear instilled about West Virginia and the black people?
They're equating two different things and then just being told other things.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia is the Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the stories of John Brown,
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, no, on that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're hillbillies, we're private, don't fuck with us or we will fuck with you.
Right.
If we're outside of this state and you want to fuck with us, we will bring you home with us and you will not like it. But that doesn't matter who you are.
I love it. I love it. And that's why we love you, Hillbilly. Okay, this is why we love you. Georgie said it depends on which black neighborhood. Because I asked in general for blacks, whites, whomever. When you go into a neighborhood, how do you feel when you're walking through a black neighborhood versus a white neighborhood? Is there a difference? Georgie said it depends on which black neighborhood. If I were in MLK Boulevard, I would fear for my life. I fear it driving on that motherfucker depending on the time. Walking black in a white neighborhood could feel the same. You said MLK.
I'm
I
more
think,
curious in a black neighborhood, a bunch of people I ain't met yet.
huh?
In a black neighborhood, I'm just more curious because a bunch of people I ain't met yet.
Now, in your particular, are there black hillbillies?
Well, hell yeah.
Okay. See, y'all, we learning something. There are black hillbillies. So when people say hillbillies, we shouldn't automatically assume white, right?
Correct. There's even adopted hillbillies. My buddy BJ, who comes from the Virginia Beach area,
Hmm.
is an adopted hillbilly.
What do you mean adopted? What does that mean?
There's a saying, if you got the mountains in you, you're fucked until you get back to the mountains. BJ moved here, found a wife, has a kid, has tried to leave this state, and has come right back. Because that's what happens. Once you get the mountains in you, you're done. You have to be in the mountains. Well, that's him. And he's perfect for our society.
I love
And so
that.
we adopted him.
And what are some of the things that you do when you say your society? What are some of the things the hillbilly culture or society does on a regular basis as a community with amongst each other?
It depends on the community. Like here, everybody goes cruising. We go up and down Main Street, back and forth. Take 2 hours to get from one side to the other, and it ain't even a half mile long. We look out the window and we say, "Hey, everybody." And that's what we do in this county, and people from other counties come here to do it with us.
I love that. And do y'all do like events and stuff?
Oh, yeah, there's always music. We like our music. We're having concerts everywhere, but we don't really have concert venues. It could be out in the middle of a pasture and there's somebody out there having a concert.
I love that.
We like fishing, hunting, hiking, all the outdoor stuffs. Everybody does that because it's 5 minutes down the road.
Okay. So Georgie said the flying of the Confederate flag in Virginia, I think, brings apprehension. But that's a lot of places in Virginia. I'm not going to lie. That's not just in West Virginia. I remember going to visit my girlfriend that lived around the Richmond area. And in her neighborhood, they were flying the Confederate flag.
No, it's flown here and there. I mean, like I said, dumbasses are everywhere. People don't even realize what that flag actually means.
Mm-hmm. What
It
does
was
it mean?
it was a collaborated effort between the South and Russia to show a spirit of cooperation. The Navy flag and the Southern Battle Cross are the same flag. Yeah, difference in colors, but they were designed the same to show unity between Russia and the South.
Okay.
And it was never really flown in battle. It's called the battle flag, but it was never flown during the Civil War.
Mm. So why does that flag make you nervous, Valerie? Why does the flag make you nervous? Virginia has them all up and down the highway on businesses and everything. Why does it make you nervous though?
Because of the connotation of all the bad shit that's happened underneath that flag.
And so when someone is flying that flag, what statement do you think they're making?
I am dumb and ignorant.
Basically. But yet, the flying of that flag instills fear in a culture of people. That's like a level of control. Like for me, these people fly these flags, right? In my opinion, knowing that some people are going to be afraid to come into specific areas seeing that flag. And that's where there's a level of control. And that's, to me, that's how they control us through our fears. In my
It's another ism.
hmm?
That flag is another ism. Isms are used to divide people.
Exactly. I don't see you coming on, Jacinta. It would have gave me an alert. I sent the link again. I think I have to get the blicky. What's the blicky? Georgie said propaganda most likely made us fear it and actions of racists who fly it. Exactly. And it keeps you from moving around to different places because these flags are flying. So it's working in some cases, right? They don't want black people in West Virginia. Some people don't want black people in West Virginia, not all of West Virginia, but there's a population of people that might not. And because of that, some black people will not go.
And that's sad.
And that's sad. It is sad. And
But
so
now
when I
you
say
flip that.
well, people look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, oh my God. So you're allowing this level of control to control how you move in this country. Oh God.
And you flip that over, there's a lot of white people that are too scared to go to a black area and won't do it. Won't do it.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I don't experience that here because here white people kind of take over. Hi, Max. I feel like white people have moved into hi, Max. Hi, Coffee with Friends, baby. He's so adorable. I am Jacinta. I feel like white people move into the black neighborhoods aggressively here in the tri-state area. So I don't really experience it. But I do remember years ago when I was at the laundromat, there was a black woman that I met at the laundromat, and her and her husband bought a house in Georgia. I don't know if it's Atlanta, just in Georgia somewhere. And she said they moved to Georgia, and I hadn't seen her for months. But when I did see her again, I asked her, I said, are you visiting? She said, no, we moved back. I said, why? She said, every day, or at least every couple of days in the week, they would wake up to like things hanging, dolls hanging on their property, crosses on their grass. They would call the cops. And this was like in the 90s, right? They would call the cops and nobody cared. And so the woman was home by herself most of the time because her husband was working. And so she told her husband, I can't live here because these things are happening to me while you're at work. And they moved back. But I feel that on the opposite, when white people move into black neighborhoods, they don't get that kind of treatment. I don't know. It's just weird. So I am Jacinta. Here you are. What other questions do you have? Get Hillbilly while he's here.
I
I
know.
know. Hillbilly, thank you so much. It's so glad to see you. Thank you so much for joining.
You're very
Um,
welcome.
I was just asking I was just curious because, I've been to West Virginia before, and I have like a friend that lives
Move
in
back a little bit so we can see your face. All we see is your mouth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
um so I was just saying, like, if West Virginia, for me, it's very racist, like even to the point of like when we go through there, we know that we can't stop at different gas stations. So I just wanted to give, because I know you
Wait, but
told
how do
us.
you know that? How do you know
Oh, because
that?
when we've gotten gas, like, I mean, people give you that look. And my friend told us, like, when you are going through West Virginia, go through West Virginia. Do not stop. And she's black, and she's from West Virginia. And she's like, there are parts where they are very racist.
Parts.
Yeah, yeah, parts. Of course, of course. But I
Are
asked
there
you those
parts of
questions
New
because,
York?
like, I know that you
Yes.
are bound to run into like racist people, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to get your take of like, how do you handle that? Because you seem like the type of, like, you seem like you like whoever likes you. Like, you're not. I don't get racist from
Yeah.
you, but my thing is, if you're around these racist people, is it a conflict that you have with them? Are you telling them that they're wrong? Like, how are you handling those type of friendship or relationships?
It depends on how they are. If they're like, meh, I don't like black people and don't say anything, I'm not going to mess with them. But if they in this, in that, in this, in that, I'm gonna be like, dude, chill. And then if it continues on, I will escalate. And then there'll be a point where I snap and there could be conflict.
So you
I'm,
don't maintain friendships with outright racist individuals, I guess what I am Jacinta is kind of sub asking. Like in that, like, do you form relationships with people that are outright racist? Not just the people who say I don't like black people and then shut the fuck up, because they got a right to like who they like, right?
right.
But people who are outright racist and is acting upon that, do you associate yourself with those type of people or do you separate yourself from them?
If I do, it is the older generation. And they are caveated because I can't say I understand how they grew up.
Okay.
And I see that in blacks and whites of the older generation, where the animosity is still right there in the forefront, the first thing you're going to see. With my generation, the card is ready on both sides. But
Mhm.
then when you get below me in the generations, the card's in the back pocket. And if it's needed, they'll whip it out.
Mhm.
And I like that concept better than any of the before concepts.
Mhm.
So, yes, there are some older racists that you will never even know they're racist.
Mhm.
And those are the worst and most dangerous kind. The ones that can put it in your face, you know what to deal with, you know what's going to be the outcome if certain things are met.
Mhm.
So you can deal with that.
Hillbilly, have you ever tried to see the reason why they don't like black people? Like, have you ever tried to like dive into, you know, what?
No, history and all the isms that separate us.
Like the isms, like example, you call DEI an ism, and then that was the thing. Like, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you can see where I posted the question, "How has DEI helped you?" And so many people responded. Well, some people said it did absolutely fucking nothing for me. And then other people got on there and started debating what DEI is. I didn't ask what it was. I know what it is. What I asked was, how did it help you since it's been implemented? And nobody could really answer that. And Hillbilly said, because it's another ism. And, I've been listening to a lot of people, and they say when they put these initiatives out like DEI and stuff like that, it is still, this is just something that's being said. Black people still trying to find a way to be included, right? But when you look at DEI didn't benefit the black people from the top of the list. They go through a whole list of people that DEI helps with: the white woman, the white man, the Asian population, the indigenous population. The vets came in almost at the bottom of the fucking list, and then the blacks came in last. The Hispanics was like number 4 or 5 on the DEI list. The blacks and the vets were at the bottom of the list of DEI, but yet the only people that I see arguing about this DEI shit, and it could be because of the population of people that I follow on social media, are black people. Like, y'all are fighting for something you were number 10 on the list for. How did it help you? They came out with Asian anti-racism crimes for Asians a couple of years ago, right? Nothing for the black people,
There's
right?
too many categories.
Right. They come out with protections for LGBTQ, who also was above us on the list. Okay, for DEI. But they didn't pass anti-racism laws for black people, right? But yet, as soon as they talk about taking DEI off the table, the number 10 culture on the list, black people are arguing why we need DEI. And I know people are throwing darts at me, but I'm just trying to figure out, how did it help you?
I don't think it did. I just think it was another thing to confuse everybody and make another category so everybody split up again. I'm an unhyphenated American, just the same as anybody else born in this country.
Back to what Smokey Robinson said. You are a Black American, right? I don't know what happened, why, and some people are going to get offended, why people feel they need to say they're African American, right? When you are not from Africa. What would I love to be from Africa? Okay, maybe, but I'm not. And I mean, I don't have any issue with Africa. I would love to go visit Africa and experience the culture, but I'm not from there. I don't understand the culture fully. I don't speak any of the languages, right? I am a Black American. If something happens to this country, all the people that have second citizenships in Jamaica and Trinidad and Grenada, they can go to fuck back home. If a civil war popped out in this country right now, there's a population of people that can go to fuck back where they came from. But guess what? Not me. Because I'm from here. I am a Black American. I can't pack my shit up and just say I'm going to Kenya or Ghana. I can't do that.
So, does that attitude hurt blacks? I'm from Africa. I'm a queen. Look at me. Does that stop them from trying harder?
I don't know. I think where we mess up as a people is, back to Cheryl's comment, we don't take the time to understand our own cultures. Like we want to call ourselves African Americans, but a lot of us don't even understand that culture. And then we go out there and we're fighting battles without understanding our culture. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Good morning, Fancy. And so I don't know if it hurts us, but I think a lot of people that's walking around talking about I'm a Black African queen. What does that mean?
Right.
What does it mean?
How about I'm a beautiful Black American queen?
I mean, that's okay. I'm just, she said Max is on 100. And Debbie said, and the women in Africa reminded us every time that we were Black American, or at least that was my. What the fuck did Smokey Robinson say? What did he say? What did he say? You are not Africans. And what did Debbie say? She went to Africa and they reminded her, they made sure that they understood that y'all are just Black Americans. But yet, we Black people in America are so fucked up. We can't even accept that we are Black Americans. We're trying to, oh my God, it's so exhausting. And I've never been to Africa. So that's great that you're able to bring that back to the table, Debbie, to say that they don't even recognize you as African Americans. Even though places like Ghana and Kenya are saying, come on and get your citizenship, guess what? You got to apply for citizenship. If we were from Africa and we were meant to be in Africa, then we should be automatic citizens of Africa. But we are not. We have to apply for citizenship to that continent.
Okay, I'm getting self conscious, so I'm going to get off.
All right, go ahead. Thank you, Hillbilly. All right. Thank you, Hillbilly, for joining the show. That was some great feedback. I really appreciate it. We just love Hillbilly. Thank you, I Am Jacinta, for coming in and asking all the questions. But I'm just saying, guys, we really have to start thinking about what we are fighting for and stop getting distracted by the bullshit. I'm just saying. And what Debbie highlighted is you will be reminded that you are Black Americans, right? There's no Black people in Europe or Asia that says African. What do you mean, Ansel? What do you mean? They don't consider themselves African? I love that. See, I'll be in West Virginia without y'all because I'm going to have my experience. I'm not going to let fear stop me. I'm not. I want to experience the outdoors. I want to experience the culture, the hillbilly culture. I want to experience that. That is on my bucket list to experience that, to experience other cultures. The same way I travel to other countries to experience other cultures. I want to experience cultures that are here also. African American is a big thing. I know Hillbilly, but thank you so much. That I really appreciate it. I'm trust and believe Hillbilly. I know it's hard because when I first started the show, my stomach hurt every day having to jump on camera. It took a while for me to get comfortable with being on camera because you don't know how people are going to react to you. You don't know what negativity is going to come out of it, and you got to have strong skin to be able to jump on camera and give your opinion, especially when other people do not agree with you. And I sleep every night with my mouth wide open and the fan on when I give my opinion because it's my opinion. And I've learned not to allow other people to fuck up my mental space over my opinion. Right? I still have a problem with the term American. Why is that, Hillbilly? Why do you have a problem with the term American? This is America. That's like if you're from Barbados, right? You're called Bajan, or you're from Trinidad, you're called Trini, right? You're from Jamaica, you're Jamaican. We're from America. Why do you have a problem with the term American? Oh, and let me say this. Let's not forget, even though many of the organizations are not celebrating or acknowledging Black History Month, Happy Black History Month, we don't need permission to celebrate it, right? We don't. And so continue to celebrate it as you normally did. If you throw events and you join organizations that are throwing events, or you're doing some community outreach this particular month for your community, continue to do that. Okay, you don't need permission from the federal government to celebrate who you are. Hillbilly said Canadians, Mexicans, Brazilian, etc. are all Americans if they are born here, right? If they are born here, they're American, right? You know, our ethnicity can be one thing, but where we're born is another thing, right? You can be of a culture of African, Somalian, or whatever, and be born in America, right? So what do you think the alternative should be instead of using American? Canada of America, Mexico of America sounds redundant. Black American, Mexican American, Canadian American. Oh, you mean like we say we're Black Americans, if they say they're Canadian Americans and Mexican Americans, Mexico is in America. Child, I don't know. We get caught up on so much of the politics of it all. It's really exhausting. And I just hope that these 4 years fly the fuck by. I see that Baraka, currently the mayor of Newark, is running for governor. I am really happy about that, y'all. I'm happy that, because I keep saying, how do we make change? More of our minorities should be stepping up into leadership roles in the political environment. And so I was really excited to hear Baraka's speech about moving into running for governor, right? As Phil Murphy is on his way out or whatever, hopefully we can get Baraka in. He's been a good mayor, in my opinion, to Newark. And so I think he's a good throw in a hat for governor, in my opinion. Shirley said, I wonder if the ones born here consider themselves American Trini or American Jamaicans, etc. What they consider themselves and what their passport says is two different things, right? They might consider themselves, I want to say, based on my experience, they still hold on to their culture. Like all the Jamaicans I know, they say they're Jamaican, even though they are born here. They'll say, I'm Jamaican, but I'm born here. Okay. Or they'll say, I came from Jamaica as a child. Okay. And I'm an American citizen now, but I was born in Jamaica, so I'm Jamaican. Right. They still hold on to that. So my question to you is, if you were to move right now to Costa Rica or Brazil, are you no longer American? Thank you, Hillbilly. If you move to another country right now, are you no longer American? See, I feel where you're born is what you are. But I do understand the question, because I know a lot of Caribbean people who are born here, right? And they claim their heritage of Trini or whatever, but they're born here. So that's a great question. Start asking some of your friends, Shirley. I'm going to start asking mine. Do you consider yourself Jamaican or American? What does your passport say? All right. Because a lot of the Caribbean people that have American passports, they too have to apply for citizenship from the countries that their parents origin from. I know people with dual citizenship, and I don't blame them. If I was aligned to another country, I would get a second citizenship. I'm going to tell you no lie. If I get married to a man that's from a different country, okay, I am going to apply for citizenship for his country and have dual citizenship. I am. Because if some shit pop the fuck off here, I need a place to go. That's my truth. That's my truth. But at the end of the day, we are all mutts. And Smokey Robinson said the same thing. We all mixy up. Wow, what a great conversation this morning. Today we entered the month of February, which is the month of love. And today we talked about, I will know love when I realize God wants love for me, right? It talked about, very often we hold on to thoughts of unworthiness and hopelessness because of the experiences we have encountered. A lot of us are walking around feeling hopeless based on past experiences, right? Or we look at the absence of certain experiences in our lives as evidence that we are being punished or forgotten by God. But that is not the truth, okay? You may be concerned about what you are going to do next in your life or what you have done in the past, but God knows no matter what you've done, things will get better. Hold on to that. Cheryl said, hell no, I'm American all day long, especially in other countries. USA still have certain privileges in other countries. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining today's show. Let me not end without saying, I didn't watch the Grammys. I stopped watching the Grammys and the Oscars because I'm just sick of it. I'm over it, right? But I did see this morning that two things caught my attention. Kanye West and his girlfriend, because I don't know, did he marry her? She showed up naked to the Grammys. She had on a see-through plastic rain, I guess, just a see-through plastic mini dress, but you could see completely through it. And she dropped her fur coat, and she was completely nude. And she looked uncomfortable as hell. Did anybody see that? If y'all didn't see it, go Google it. It'll come up. It's all over the internet. And based on social media, they said they were arrested, or she was arrested because she was nude. Why do y'all think Kanye West is doing that to this woman? Like, I almost feel like she needs to blink if she need help. The second thing I saw was Beyonce won the Grammy for Best Country Album. Now, before the bees come out and sting me, because we know that y'all drank the honey, and no matter what Beyonce does or doesn't do, y'all just love it. Y'all drank the honey. But the best country album, all these country singers out there, natural country singers that's been singing country, not ones that migrated. And I'm not saying she's not country. I'm not saying that at all. I said people that have been singing country, right? Where country is their only genre that they've been in from the beginning of time. This woman makes one country album and she won the Grammy for Best Country Album. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And she even looked shocked when they called her name. Okay, congratulations, Beyonce. I don't listen to enough country to say whether I agree or disagree. I was just shocked that out of all the people that have been singing country all their lives and been living in that genre, how she migrated from R&B to country and took Best Album of the Year. That must hurt. But congratulations. We are rethinking next year's trip to Mexico of America. Listen, we canceled our Mexico trip because I can't be fuxing around in Mexico. They mad. I don't want them being mad at me. I didn't say they had to leave. The fuck? Good morning, Johnny. Oh, you don't watch it either, Fancy? I can't be bothered with them award shows. She was shocked based on the stuff that's going around. When they played her music as the winner, she looked around. She was shocked. I bet she was shocked. Wow. Congratulations. Okay. And so I'm just saying. But with that, y'all, continue to have a beautiful Monday. This was a lot of conversation we had today. And again, I thank Hillbilly for jumping on because that was a big deal for him. When we first met Hillbilly did not fucks with social media, okay? I had to beg him to get on Discord, and that's how we enter Hillbilly's world, through Discord. He shares videos and pictures of his family, of his outings, of his journeys, and I love that. And being able to get him to come on the camera of the show today was amazing, okay? And so y'all know that Hillbilly is real, okay? That's one of my requirements. I need to know that y'all are real because there's a lot of catfishing going on. So I need people to, interact. All right. And so that's the one thing you guys do well on this show. Debbie, you think so? Debbie said that was a retaliation to the CMAs because she didn't win. Oh my God, Valerie. Right. Did y'all hear about that story real quick? The lady in Pakistan, this woman left her husband. That's the story you talking about, Valerie, right? The woman who left her husband and her kids and moved to Pakistan for a teenage boy. He's 19 years old. She said they have been dating for years. When she got to Pakistan, I guess she catfished him, right? He didn't want to be with her. And now she's demanding that Pakistan give her land and money because this 19-year-old boy doesn't want to be with her anymore. Did y'all hear that? Good morning, Lizzie Banks. That's a new face. Right. Welcome to the show. Valerie, I couldn't believe that video. She said, I want land. I want money. I said, bitch, do you know where you are at? You're in Pakistan. You are a woman in Pakistan demanding land because you went over there fucking with a 19-year-old who you said you've been dating for years. So how old was he really when you started dating him? You sound like a pedophile. Like, how embarrassing. She catfished him and the family said, hell no. Okay, so that's what happened because I didn't dig deep into the story. I did see the video where she was demanding stuff from Pakistan and people were like, bitch, do you know where you at? Somebody better tell her where she's at. And I'm like, I was still stuck on the fact that you said y'all were dating for years and he's only 19 years old. Like, you left America, your husband and your kids to go to Pakistan to be with a 19-year-old. Shit, she better be glad she not in Asia somewhere because they might have caned her ass. She sat outside his house eating, waiting for him. And she admitted to her psychiatric, they admitted her to a psychiatric ward? This is a nervous laugh. Because what the fuck is her husband and the kids thinking right now? So she's in a psychiatric ward in Pakistan, Valerie? Ciao. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think this is the first time I've seen, and she was black, right? That I've seen a black woman trying to go to Pakistan. Like, I've never heard anybody say they want to move to Pakistan. So she's in Pakistan in the psychiatric ward. I know I am dissented. That's what I'm afraid of. He probably knew she was crazy and let her go. You mean her husband from America, Johnny? That's one of the things that scares men about women. We are afraid of getting one of those. Oh, hillbilly. You afraid of getting a psychiatric patient? I'm scared for her too, Debbie, because that's why when I saw the video, I was like, oh my God, she's in Pakistan telling them, I'm not leaving. I want land. I want this. I'm like, oh my God, the women in Pakistan don't even be standing up asking for this shit. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, she don't want to be in the U.S. no more. Johnny said, men know when their women is crazy, but you still keep us. You see, I said us, right? I know I'm a little crazy, but not that fucking crazy. Not that crazy. Wow. I wonder, so this woman groomed this boy. Wow. Wait a minute. Hillbilly said, wait a minute. I'm not that crazy. Dissenter! I am dissenter. Yes, she said, yes, we're going to stick beside y'all. And we are. And we are. I'ma stick beside you. Me and my crazy self. But shit, I ain't that crazy. Not as crazy. Nah, I'm not going to Pakistan. I do get a little crazy, but not that crazy. Johnny said, we know what to do and what not to do to keep you all's crazy under control. You better. You besta. You besta. Okay? Mm-mm-mm. But anyway, y'all, I need to wind it down so I can focus on my corporate job. But this has been great. All right, this has been great. Happy fucking Monday. Okay, we will be back tomorrow. I know, Fancy, I can't either. It's just too much. It is too much. But you know, I will not ignore what's happening in the world to hide from it out of fear because I need to know what's going on. And so I'm going to keep my ears to the ground and my eyes open at all times. Okay. It's very draining. Listening to Trump is very draining, but I'm not going to hide inside my turtle shell and not listen to him either because I need to know what my next moves are going to be. Okay. And not knowing scares me more than knowing. All right. So this is why I keep my ear to the ground. You know, I'm just saying. Okay. And so with that, y'all, you know what I say, move with peace and love. And I'm going to send y'all out with some reminder that no matter how low, you can still go. I know, Val, they can't do nothing with her. They can send her back. Right? Because she went over to Pakistan. You can only stay in another country 90 days, right? So can't they send her back to the United States? I mean, send her ass back. That's what I say. She's not from Pakistan. Wait. Because Johnny said women are crazy, but some women are crazy and the men know how to keep their women under wraps is what he's saying. He know how to, the men with the crazy women, they know how to keep their women under wraps. Yes, be mindful, enjoy your day. All right. And so with that, I'm going to send y'all out with a little bop. You know, even
when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no.
I know, Val. So this is Coffee with Friends, and I am Raw to be Bone. Come back tomorrow, y'all. Move with peace and love and get this message on the way out.
Go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
Bye, distance my way on the highway.
And in the driveway.
Hey, make sure y'all give me the hearts, the thumbs up, or something on your way out.
Just gotta put the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredients.
Hey,
They see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy.
Come on, even when you feel
low, you can still go.
And you can.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Yep.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
I never answer,
No, man, still
and
go.
I don't, y'all. Peace and blessings. Stock up on your food, y'all. Until tomorrow, I'm out.